I gotta see my PC is like dying, but it's okay. We should be able to stream. One thing I have to do, I have to say though, because I did want to record a. I tried to record a video where I was playing X Rank at night. Unfortunately, the recording still crashed because OBS still crashed. So I think the issue with putting everything on the Apple encoder, that is the base encoder for, not the base encoder, but it's another encoder option that I have for OBS. Because the encoder is the Apple one, it might crash because the hardware one is being used. So just letting you guys know that. It might crash for that reason. Hey Don, welcome to the stream. I don't know if it's gonna crash here. It might. I don't know. If it does, that would be really that really suck. But I hope it doesn't. But that might be something I need to figure out because I don't know if the hardware is the best encoder to use. It works really well when I'm streaming Splatoon, but I don't know if it's best for this because X264 wasn't that bad when I need it for streams that require the actual PC, which, you know, the actual PC ain't that bad, but unfortunately, it still takes a while to get everything to run, so I have to be kind of careful. But yeah, I have Medibang now on this PC. I don't know why rendering times are taking so long. Why are rendering times taking so long? That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so we're gonna be. Well, I will be drawing something. You guys will not be drawing anything. You guys will be watching me draw something. You have to guess what it is, though. I don't know how many layers we're gonna need, but let's get probably not that many layers. You need a background. Yeah, you need a background. So that's gonna be layer 1, obviously. So I'll actually label my background and everything while I have time. So I'll label my background. So this is supposed to be. Oh, the mic is in the way. I have to move closer so you guys can really hear me. So this is background. This shouldn't have anything with it. And then, well, technically this is actually the sky. This would actually make sense. It's actually the sky. As always, I gotta start with sky. Now, I usually just find it easy to just use a gradient, which it's fine for me. So, I gotta think of a gradient here. It's not there. The blue is closer to this than this. It's close to like this. Okay, let's see how that gradient looks. It somewhat functions. Smooth this over a little bit. I'm using watercolor brush. I don't know why. Okay, so yeah, this looks pretty fine. Might be a bit generic, but it looks a little fine. So, just gotta add stuff now. As for, like, when I mean sky background, I'm not including clouds in this because clouds will be a separate thing. This is the color of the sky, and then getting the elements in. So, for example, the sun. Yeah, the sun, moon, or celestial bodies would be something to put in the sky. And then a later layer will be clouds. Clouds will still have to be below. Clouds will have to be somewhere around land in layer 4, if I were to add them. But I don't know if I will yet, so we have to consider that. If I... Oh no, that's super noticeable. That's super noticeable. I mean, ideally, the gradient's actually quite fine. Although I think it's the wrong way. The gradient's the wrong way. It's actually the other way around. No, the gradient's the other way around. Yeah, like that. That's how the gradient actually is in real life. Because the darkest part of the sky is at the top. And then at the edge of the horizon is where it gets brighter. So we have that down. I just need to add other stuff now. One thing I don't like about having to use Apple mouse is that because there's no scroll wheel on here, I need to actually press this button up here, which it's a bit of a problem, but I'm used to using PicMonkey for my stuff, for when I was doing editing of images, so this actually isn't too bad. Do I want to put the sun up here? Yeah, we can work with it. Okay, so I don't want to draw this. The actual sun is actually more like a light beam. It's not, you don't actually draw it in. It's more like a light beam in real life. So we're gonna try and find the light feature on here. It's like Lumilight. It's this one. Not that. Well, actually, maybe this is fun. No, maybe you could work with that. Maybe. The light is about... Oh, wait, no. The sun is white when you look at it, but it has a tinge of yellow. So we're going to have this kind of color with it. Maybe a little bit more white, but we'll do this. Color jitter. I don't know what color jitter does, but I'll bump that up. Hue jitter. Yeah, we'll do this, and this will be quite funny. I'll bump up the opacity. Because you're not supposed to see through the sun. So maybe I add a glow. Ooh. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Something. It's a nice rainbow color. I like that. It's a rainbow color. Actually, I could do something else with that. Let me get rid of that. I could do something else with that now. There we go. That looks a little bit weird. Looks a little weird. This feels more like sand. Yeah, this feels more like sand actually. Has a sandy feel to it. Now I just need to find the thing that makes this like super bright. But if I were to zoom out, how does it look from afar? Click this button. It's like it's a bit off center though. I can do this. Yeah, and that's better. It looks kind of, the sun looks small up there, so I'll actually expand it a bit. Not too much, but I'll expand it like that. It's not quite a sun though. Looks a bit oblong on its left side. So let's fix that. Yep, there we go. Round and round, and that's pretty close. It's a gigantic sun, but that's pretty close. Now I just need to add, can add an airbrush to this, or I could also add a cloud, or I could add oil paint, or a pastel would be cool. That seems like a slightly different color. It is a slightly different color. Yeah, that's ideally what we want. Something like that. And not like that, but move around the inside so the sun feels like an egg. There we go. In terms of flat brush, that's way too big. I could turn that down now. I could add like, what would this be? Oh, that's like a parameter for it. It has a light feature. Yeah, it has that light feature. So I can actually add a little bit of haze with it. Where there's a slight tinge of yellow around the sun. Although this is more if there's a haze. So actually, this might not be it. This is a hazy brush. Complement's better because it looks like that. So I can actually, what I could do. No, not like that. That's probably not the best way to do it. Or something like this. Yeah, like this. It will look a little weird, but it's okay. It'll look a little weird, but that's fine. Well, to other people, to me, it looks just fine. So that's my sky. I don't need another gradient, per se. The sun is in the correct position. I just need to add a moon now. So I need to draw that in somewhere. I need to figure out the correct fade, because the moon can't be, this color has to be a very, very slight gray, so it seems like it fits in. So I need to find a place to put this. I'm using acrylic, I believe. No, I'm using a flat brush. Just acrylic and see what that looks like. That's actually okay. I just need to make that smaller. Sun is much bigger than the moon, so I'm gonna make that smaller. Yeah, so something like that. Although, to be honest, the moon kind of looks more like this. It's smaller than the actual sun, but it's fine. And then I need to add some bluish grays in there. Not like that. That's a little too dark up here. Although it needs to be actually smaller than that, because the moon spots are actually smaller than that. Even smaller than that. But it would look something like this if you were paying attention to the moon at all. If it was a full moon, it would look something like this. Yeah. There we go. It doesn't actually take too long to do this. It's just a design thing. You won't be able to see other things in the sky, though. You're not supposed to see other things. So this is fine for what we have right now. Now I can add a little bit of a dark side. So not a dark side of the moon, but we could try and aim for that here. But it would need to be a bit darker than that, because we're gonna need to like. And then I'm going to need a gray on the border to smooth that out. Although you're not really going to be able to see that part, to be fair. So you need to make this a little bit more realistic. Somewhat like that, yeah. And then complete darkness is on this very edge right here. But you're not meant to see this edge, actually, because it blends into what this color is. Not supposed to see that, so it's actually supposed to blend in here. It's supposed to blend in. So you could kind of see it. That looks a bit off, actually. I can get rid of it, and that's actually better. And then at the tail end here, just add a little bit of black. Yeah. Although, maybe add a little bit more of a curve to the black right here. Because, hypothetically... Oh, wait, this doesn't even make sense, but it's alright. It's alright. Okay. That should be fine. Yeah, we got it. Alright, so you're drawing right now too. That's cool. I don't know how long it's going to take you to finish what you have. This might take, I don't know. Depending on what I draw, this might only take an hour. An hour at most. Oh, wait, you guys can also see my bottom part of the screen. Let me actually zoom in so I can actually see everything. There's not much else to add to a potential sky. Well, there is, but there's not much else I can actually reasonably add. Okay. Now, actual ocean. The right ocean color would be around here somewhere. Maybe a little bit this way, but otherwise, this is fine. And this could use oil paint. The dry version. Although, we could try dry. How does that look? Okay, this is actually quite fine. Probably boost this up a bit, actually. This is fine. Now the ocean's supposed to cover all of this, and then we add land later in. Parts of this are supposed to be slightly lighter than others, so we'll add those in. It's not supposed to be that big though, so we'll add some other areas where there might be some waves. Just so it looks a bit more realistic. You're in the final parts of sketch? Okay. This is fine actually. I might want to add an airbrush to this. Find one. Yeah. Like an airbrush but soft. Right? Yeah, because this generally also has like a similar feel to it. Although not really a similar feel to it. It doesn't have the similar feel to it, rather. It feels similar, but it's actually not. I think cloud is actually better for this. In a way. Turn the opacity down. Yeah, cloud is actually a little bit better for this. Because cloud gives more of the grainy feel to the ocean. So we can actually roll with this pretty well. Roll with that. Roll with this. Because hypothetically, this isn't actually 3D, but you could think of it like that. Because it's not actually a 3D wave, but if you have a darkness behind, you can kind of conceive of it that way. And then I guess this right here could be the part where you start transitioning over to beach. So let's get some lighter colors here. And then we can probably add land in the distance, but not immediately. Yeah, something like that. It's not going to take too long to do this. Alright, so we have sky and we have ocean. I said I was going to add clouds above this, which I'm probably still going to do. Because clouds are going to need to be placed above this, but I don't want the actual sun to get erased or anything. Land is going to be different. Land, I'm going to need to find the right beach color. Which, I believe it's... Sand is usually around this color, so we can add sand here. Although, that's actually probably not the right color for that. It's a bit further down. Cloud is probably not it's probably not a good color for that. A mapping pen could work, though. Could work. Yeah, like a mapping pen could work here. It just depends on what I'm doing, so I can do this. And then I can have... The coastline will seem to bend back there. And then just fill it in. Now, that doesn't mean that this, that this is the only land that we're going to add. This is just an idea for a beach. Judging by this setup, judging by what type of clouds I put here, it's gonna determine what type of landmass I'm gonna need here. If this is gonna be desert, like a desert sea, then there's gonna be a lot more of this. Also, I probably need to add like a darker sand color. I'm gonna put stuff in the background actually. Yeah, if I'm gonna put stuff in the background, I'm gonna need to do this. Yeah. Yeah, if I'm going to put stuff in the background, I'm going to need to do that. And I'm going to need to zoom in a bit if I'm going to add more detail to it. So we have this. Now I just need... I need watercolor that I can blend in. So I'm going to add a little bit of a darker sand to this. And just like merge it in. I forgot what I used for my other one. I forgot what I used. Actually, these probably need a brighter sand color at the top. It will make more sense if there's brighter sand at the top versus at the bottom. This would make a lot more sense because the sun is facing this way. So this would have more of the sunlight would be hitting this over other areas. I just need to add maybe like a texture pattern to these, but that's about it. No, because when I actually look at other people making an artwork digitally, it's like, wait, this is actually so easy, and this actually looks so easy. Not gonna lie. To me, it looks easy, and then I realized, oh wait, no, it is kind of easy. There's stuff you get to learn, though, but you could definitely do it. It's not as hard as it looks. This part back here needs to be a bit darker because maybe not that dark. Maybe add like a little bit of darkness here and then blend that out with light, for example. Yeah, more like that, and then gradually get lighter, and then maybe blur this in later. We can add that dark stuff back here. It's just slightly shaded, so we could like fill this in. Yeah, we could fill it in like that, and then I'll steal this color and then place it over here. Much harder when you do characters. Well, characters you have to be more precise. Actually, drawing backgrounds isn't that difficult, and that's why I tend to draw. But drawing a character may take more time. But I mean, for me, if all I have to really do for a character is that you just kind of need to sketch everything. The main thing is optimize everything and make sure everything's precise, and making sure everything actually lines up and looks correct. Getting angles is more important for a character than it is for this, for example. So a character will be harder to optimize, but once you get the hang of it, it shouldn't be that bad. That's not supposed to be that light. I could actually probably add a super white part up here, if possible, but might not be able to do that because I don't know if there's a shine feature in this game. A shine feature would be so cool, though. Actually, what does that look like from a distance? I could change some of the sand here. For example, I could change, no, not that sand. Not that sand. Probably not that sand. That's probably not the sand you want to change. But, you know. Actually, that actually does look quite good. So, I'm actually going to continue this project. I'm gonna continue that project of just building this gigantic gateway across, because what I can technically do is I can add a darkness here, like as if you're going into something, but you're not really. And then at the top, I have like a little bit of lightness here. Yeah, Something like that. I have to check on my laptop, so give me a second. I'll put like a path here in orange, just because it makes sense. And you know, we'll skate one in between, but it's gonna disappear obviously because you're not gonna be able to walk that way. And I'll add like a little bit here as you're going over a sand dune, and then it disappears like right there. Do 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 do. Yep, this is actually really good. I need to go back up to a different type of sand because I need to give some of these. Well, not that type of color. That type of color is probably not the best, but a little bit down. Give some of these, not like that. That's still too dark though, at least for me. One thing I can do is, because I know the color of the sand, I can just make a slightly more different color. Yeah, like that. Because I can do this, and it should be relatively fine. And connect it over. Having this be the sand path is kind of crazy, though. This color is gonna need more of a refresh, but it's okay. Skate this over. Yeah, we're gonna have the sandhill act like it disappears over here. But I can add specks of darker sand in between here, just to simulate sand dunes, for example. And then move over. So I can add like a little bit of darkness here. Just to simulate it, but we're not really going for super high detail there. Now this sand trail needs and then I need to get this back because we're at the top of the sand dune now, so the sand should be lighter up here. Yeah, so you go like that. This one doesn't really need an opening, but we'll add an opening here. Why not? We'll add one. And we'll make this part very dark. Yeah, there we go. Wait, that actually looks so funny. Okay, those actually look like real pyramids from here. Okay. I wouldn't know where to start. I'd probably start on the tail first, to be honest. I'd start with the tail and then work on the body. Because you already have the sketch of the body itself, so I'd work on the tail first and then build your way up. Because the tail's the furthest thing in the back. Or, ideally, get the body done first, then add clothing over the body, and then cut out the part of the tail that's just right behind them. and just keep painting the rest of the tail that exists there. I could probably try that. Wait, no, I can't add a human here. Well, not in this layer anyway. I could add a human, but not there. Do I want to add? I'm going all the way around. Technically, no, because I actually want this to be like one side, and then if you keep going this way, there's actually more water. One thing I can do though is probably add. I need a bigger pen. Probably add like not a tiny island per se, but in the distance over here, something like that. I can start drawing in mountains here. In the distance. That's a little bit too dark. I'd probably try with this. Try drawing in mountains. Not all the way there, but try drawing in mountains here. And then they cut. That cuts like right there as it's a hill there. But this is a general idea. Yeah. Yeah, so a general idea. You don't know where the tail. You never start with tail because you don't know where the tail is exactly at. Well, you know it's behind the person. You know it's behind the torso. Because the part of the tail that's behind the person isn't the one that the people actually see, and the one that you're going to be using. It's just to help you figure out where the rest of the tail has to go. Like in the image you posted, the tail is where. Like the tail is right behind their abdomen. So you'd have to think of it like that. It's behind the abdomen, it's behind their left hand. So you could technically start with the tail first. But you don't color it first, you just design it fully. And then just get rid of the part behind the person. And then keep going. That might be an oversimplification though. But that's just what I'm thinking about it when I'm just looking at it. Actually no. I'm supposed to actually use this and go down. This wasn't supposed to be deleted. I wasn't supposed to delete that actually, that was a mistake. I was supposed to take this down. There we go. I just have to add sand now. It has to be a much thinner layer of sand. It has to be much thinner, but it should be fine. This is watercolor. I use a pen for this. Mapping pen. Yeah, I use mapping pen for this. I have to use mapping pen here. Well, technically, the water is like right here, but it's not actually full ocean until here. I just have to add more blue here. But I could think of it like that. Yeah, think of it like this, and it's going to be a much better way to actually design everything. Okay. The difference between mountains is that the sand on mountains is a bit darker in some regions. So here, for example, would be a bit darker. Not like that, but it'd be a bit darker, especially in a place like this. Actually, the sun is shining this way, so some of it will be hitting this, but the top of this could maybe be a little bit darker. And then I have to blend that in with something else. It's not the right type of sand, but it's okay. Because I can always fix that. With this even beiger sand. It's just I need to make a darker version of that. Because actually, yeah, make a darker version of it, but we'll keep it slightly light, because it can't be too dark or else it doesn't fit properly. Like imagine like you could act like there's a different rock piece of sand here, and then you could probably add what? Like consider there being like just pure exposed black rock here from erosion. You can do this. Yeah, so this would be better against. This would be better for erosion type deal. But this part of the hillside's eroded, so there's a reason why this part is darker. And you can add some light to it, so it doesn't look completely dark. But you can do that, and it should be fine. Either way, you can also go up above here. Now, I want this sand to be a little bit brighter as you go towards the top. And then we take it back down here as we proceed towards the bottom. And this sand layer right here should be fine. There should be no exposed rock on this particular mountain. Shouldn't be any. And then maybe I can try and add something here. I don't know. Well, actually, ideally, ideally I could probably add, maybe extend this path up this hill, and it could work that way. That's an idea that could possibly work. Go around. You have even yellower sand on top. Move that there. I just need to blend this in, which that's not supposed to happen. I could still blend it in somehow. Now, I would prefer to use an airbrush for that. Wait, no. The blur feature exists, so I can use that. A little bit lighter. Just so we have a little bit more variety in the sand, and then add some more texture to it. A little bit. This texture doesn't completely fit here, but that's not the color I want. It's this color. This color needs to wrap around this layer fully, just so it makes sense. Okay, so it wraps around this layer, and then we go up like that. So now this sand hill is a bit better, where there's different sand at the top. Go towards the bottom, we can have like slightly redder sand. So at the top of this hill, we can have like, actually not that dark, like a little bit lighter. So here, this is not the same type of sand. This might not even be sand at all. We can think of this as something completely different. We can think of this as some sort of plant that's growing on top of here. I'm not sure what it would be called, though. But you could think of this as like, okay, this may be a mesa here. Like a slight bit of limestone change. And then I could come back to this and be like, okay, I can probably detail this with like some extra lines scattered about. So I can probably do this, for example. Just so the rock feels a little bit different, because rock is not uniform. Rock is not completely uniform in real life. Actually, I'll add more. I'll add a special rock here. It's similar to this one. And then here I can add this underneath this sand layer. I don't know if it is there, to be fair. The only one I saw was just blur, which is down here somewhere. It's just blur natural and soft. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it either, to be fair. I do like this mountain's slightly green. It seems like there is some life on this hill, which is, I mean, that's actually pretty accurate. This isn't necessarily meant to resemble Egypt, but if you're thinking about some place in this desert, would resemble somewhere around the Arabian Sea. Not the Arabian Sea. Well, yes, technically the Arabian Sea, but what I'm more trying to get get to is the Red Sea. That's more what I'm thinking of. I don't know a single desert hill or mountain that looks like this, but it's funny. Don't know a single hill that looks like that. Oh, in this area, I can make it seem flatter. Where does the mountain bend back a little bit? If I do this. Not that. I didn't mean to do that. I meant this. This is the color I wanted. I wanted the beach sand color, not that one. It's a cool color, but it's not the one I need for this. I could probably use that on a plant, though. Now, as far as I know, there's not actually palm trees in this region. Well, no, there are some, but they're not as prevalent as you may think. There's no cactuses here, either. It's not much foliage, so it is pretty much a bare desert. A lot of this region. This is supposed to be more of a rock hill. So, we're gonna have some red, some smoky red up here. Yeah. Some red with some actual smoke in it. But there's gonna be this like small rock chisel part. There's gonna be this small rock chisel part right here. It's a little bit of a staircase, and then we're gonna add this. Oh, this is actually kind of perfect, though. This might, this is actually quite perfect for this. Because now I can add, let me use areas. I can add some interesting colors. And then you can just feed it in with whatever else you can imagine. Yeah, this is more like what I'm thinking. Black. Is this unrealistic? Kind of. It's not completely unrealistic, though. Yeah, it's not completely unrealistic, to be fair. Although, this doesn't look like sand anymore, per se. This doesn't really look like sand anymore, does it? But we can add some sand. Why not? This needs to be some extra yellow sand up here. Some yellow sand. Some peak sand up there. And then we'll add some darker sand in there. Oh, well, to be fair, this might actually be foliage. Some grasses that adapt to this region. This might actually be fine. Actually, I want to use a lead pencil. What does that do? It doesn't do much, but we'll use it. We'll use it because it actually feels like a blend. Although my opacity is kind of terrible. It's very sheery, which is nice. It does give the rock feel to it. It doesn't necessarily fit the best. But it gives a sheery feel where it's like, this is actually quite nice. Because I could add some of this sheery feel to some of the rocks over here. Like, it won't fit perfectly, but it's a bit sheery, which is good because that's what sand is. Sheer. Because I can also use this as a dust haze. So, I'll come back to that. What do I use? I actually use cloud for some of this mountain. Because I do want it to be a bit of an obscure thing. So I'll actually use cloud for some of this. I'll use cloud for some of this. Even though it may not make the most sense. Yeah, it may not make the most sense, but it's funny. I'll up the opacity, because why not? Because although these have sharper colors, just a clash of this alone just feels good to me. It's not completely colored in though. It's one issue. Although I can add stuff underneath this and it would be fine. Cause I use the mapping button. I can add new things underneath this and it'd be completely fine. Because now I can add this and be generally fine. Yeah, I can add that and be generally fine while I somehow find a way to fit in some extra sand colors I wasn't able to use before. Because now I have the sheer and I'm painting over it. But now I know it exists. So I can use it now. Because now I can use it to paint over this. And while it may look like a mess, it's quite fun. So now I can add this gray here to fill in some gaps that were left. And make it look like there's a mineral deposit there. This area just kind of needs to fill in. It doesn't actually need much. It just needs to be filled. Still too much blue hanging around, but that's fine because that's how I color. Yeah. this still looks so funny to me. There's no green rock in this universe. I don't know what I was doing. No, it definitely won't look like that. No, it's not supposed to look like that. No, but maybe a greenish lime like this. That makes sense. That could make a lot of sense actually. A greenish lime like this would make sense because then I can add a mist over it just to make it look more rocky. It actually makes sense if it goes all the way up there. So I'll cut that out. And now people can imagine what else is over there. Now I need to find the lead pencil. And add some mist to this. It needs to be a bit larger, just so it's easier to do. But yeah, textured like that. Good, very good. Very good texture. Now I just need to add some texture to pretty much everything that I can find here. Not a lot, but... Oh, wait. It's the same color. It needs to be a different color if you're going to add texture. Can't be the same color. It needs to be slightly different. We'll add, like, this brown color and see, like, how much texture we can actually add in there. It may look a little weird, but it's fine. It's like a cake, kinda. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine by me. Okay. No, that's actually funny to me. Okay, we have moon, sun. We're using as many different things as we can. We're doing quite well, too. With that being said, this is kind of missing something. Somewhat. There's something missing here. I'm gonna add it. Well, not with this thing, but I can use a pencil to add it. Well, not that either. You can use this to add it. Yeah, there we go. There needs to be some semblance to there is extra sand back here, but not really. It needs to feel like there's an extra hill back here, just so it feels like you're actually going off in the distance or something like that. Yeah, that looks better. Well, I don't know if "looks" the right word, but that fits better. Oh wait, this is actually the land, so I can actually add eyes to this thing. I can actually add eyes. There we go. The brush has to be small if I'm gonna add them though. I could add like green though. Although I probably need to make the outline of the actual eye like that. Yeah, like an actual outline of the eye, because it's gonna be quite small. And then I need to